Hi, thanks for tuning in today. A Yin Yoga practice for renewal as we usher out 2023 and prepare ourselves for the new year ahead. I'm a firm believer in just taking a moment to step back as we transition from one year to the next. But it's really hard in our busy society to allow ourselves the freedom to be able to slow down and reflect and process. So my hope, my intention for today is that this practice allows you that opportunity to take this time for yourself. Call it like a little permission slip for renewal. So as we move through our practice today, use this time to look back at the joyful times of the past year, or the broken times, or maybe the times that just felt really neutral. And throughout all of it, practice gratitude, because you made it through, right? Well, not quite yet, but we're working on it. For our practice today, you'll like some props. We'll actually be starting with yoga blocks. Now, if you don't have a yoga block, a great substitution for this first part of our sequence today could be a tightly rolled up blanket or towel or a really firm pillow. Okay? So we'll use this right away for our first posture as we settle in. If you have a yoga block, grab your yoga block and place it on its lowest height lengthwise, right? So you can see that I'm taking it the length and I'm placing it up toward the top of my mat. I'll bring myself to recline down on top of it, but a quick bit about placement. So this is designed to be a heart opener. And our first three postures, we'll be moving this block down the spine. We'll start with it up high, we'll move to mid back, and then the bottom of the hips. Okay, so as you recline down on top of it, if you can kind of see placement of the block on my back, the bottom edge of it is going to be about at the base of my shoulder blades, and the top edge of it about the base of my neck. Now, because we'll be reclining down, if you need extra support or lift under the head, you can grab an extra blanket or pillow or something like that. All right? So I'm just going to place the block and to ease my way in. So bottom of the shoulder blades finds the base of the block, and then reclining back again. And I would like to have a little extra underneath the back of the head. So I'm going to bring something in there as well. And then you'll extend the legs out long, arms by your sides. Now, a quick reminder, as this is a yin practice, I will be on my watch, but just for the timer purposes, okay? So let's extend your legs back, or extend your legs long, lie back, palms up. Now, if a yoga block is not what you have, if you have the rolled blanket or something, you'll do the same thing. You'll take it and lay it lengthwise, and you'll recline over it so it's along the length of the spine, okay? So I've got my timer set for 2 minutes for our initial posture. And we'll just use this posture as a settling in, just priming ourselves for letting go. Allow the legs to settle, the hips to settle. And our hips are down on the ground here, they're not elevated. Heart is open, softening the arms, the shoulders, the neck, the jaw. So we'll use this practice today again as a kind of a platform for not only looking back, but letting go. Looking back, at the year that has passed, and gratitude for everything that it has brought us. Joy or pain. Tuning into your breath, you might notice that as we've been reclined for a little while, the breath naturally makes its way into the belly. We feel a nice, calm, easy breath. Take one more deep breath here. Bend the knees, roll to your side, off the block. Press yourself up. Let's change the positioning of our block or blocks. Take the block now and bring it lengthwise or crosswise, I guess that would be, right? Instead of going the long way, we're going to go the short way. And again, this block will go right about shoulder blades or base of the shoulder blades. So the hips will be down and the head will be down. So pull in any other props that you would require for your body to support. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and bring a blanket up to let the head rest on as I open the center of the chest. And again, I'll ease my way back. As I ease back, the block lands right at the base of the shoulder blades. So when I recline back, it's like the shoulder blades are just flattening out along the block. Head comes down to my rolled up blanket, or you could use an alternate block. And then extend the legs. Allow yourself to soften in. Allow the shoulder blades to soften around the block, onto the block, onto the support. So kind of an underlying intention for our practice today is renewal. Right? We'll open the heart, we'll review or maybe revisit the year that's passed, and we'll let it go. But renewal requires opening up, opening ourselves up to a new way of thinking. Right? Out with the old, in with the new. That's why I've started our first 3 postures with opening of the heart. Each breath continuing to usher in a little deeper sense of relaxation, of softening. I read a little quote recently. It's kind of related to the ending of the year, I guess. And the suggestion, the gist of it was that sometimes when our years are so hard and full of challenges, can't we just let the year go softly? Can't we just learn to let go, soften, open up? And once more, bend your knees, roll yourself off of your support. Press yourself up again, just so we can take that block out of the way. So for this last, in this sequence of 3, a block would be preferable, but you could also use a firm blanket or a really firm rolled up towel, right, or pillow. Come to lying down on your back with your block. Now recall that the block has 3 different layers. 3 different heights. We'll still be using the lowest height here. So 2 feet on the floor, knees bent. Press into the floor to lift the hips up. Slide that block underneath the sacrum, right? So that's the flat part just above your tailbone, back of the hips. Nice little flat table area. Once more, arms by your sides. You can have them close, far out, overhead, whatever you wish. And then from this supported bridge, we'll extend the legs out one at a time. So now, whole front body opening. If extending the legs out with the heels on the ground causes any discomfort in your low back, your lumbar spine, then feel free to bend those knees and bring the feet back to the floor, okay? Hmm. Tune back into your breath, into softening. A little reminder that in our yin practice, there's a lot more silence in the practice itself, especially from my perspective. I try to leave more silence. But a reminder that today we're using that silence to revisit, right? To express gratitude for all of the events of the past year. Open ourselves up so that we can find gratitude for all of it. Now let's inhale. Bend the knees, bring 2 feet to the floor if you haven't already. Now, keeping your hips on this block or whatever support you have, we'll do a little shift. So slide your hip or pick your hips up, slide the block about, maybe 4 inches to the right. So just your right side of the hip is on, so the left one is off, okay? Re-extend the right leg and bring the left knee up towards your chest. We'll take a 1 knee twist with the hip elevated. So this is really kind of a cool stretch. If this causes discomfort, feel free to take the block out and just come into any recline twist over to the right, okay? You can take the arms out wide like a T. You can turn your head to the right or turn your head to the left, whatever feels best for your body, for your spine. I really love this variety, this variation of a reclined twist, just having the hip elevated. Taking a little bit of a new and different approach to our twist. Few more deep breaths here. On an inhale, untwist, reposition the left foot to the floor, right foot to the floor. Untwist the hips, bring them back to center, and then gently lifting the hips, sliding the block the other direction. Now, block or whatever support you have, I'm just sliding it over to the left. So now just my left hip bone, my left side of the pelvis is on, the right one's completely hanging off here. Extend the left leg long, bring the right knee up, and then guide the right knee over to the left, extending the right arm out to the right. And you decide if you want to turn head into the twist, or if you'd like to turn the head away from the twist. Twists are really a great place to initiate letting go. Take some deep breaths here. In through the nose. And if you like, feel free to sigh it out. Let it go. Soften in. Opening ourselves up for renewal, taking this super valuable time for just you. About 2 breaths more here. Slowly untwist yourself. Bring your feet back to the floor for support. Shift the hips back to the center of the block. Pause for a moment. And I will lift the hips off the block and set it off to the side. Let your hips come all the way down. So the spine now from tailbone to the back of the head are reclined and softening in to the floor. Just allow yourself a moment to let the spine come back to neutral. Let's widen your feet out. So keeping the knees bent and the feet on the floor, just widen them out. Drop the knees side to side. It's going to feel really lovely for the hips, the spine. Right? We use the postures as a way to let go of some of the built up tension and holding in the body, right? To release it a little bit. And then the movement allows us to kind of literally flush it out, right? Get it moving so it doesn't settle back in. All right, roll to your side and then bring yourself up. In fact, bring yourself all the way over onto your belly. We'll take Sphinx pose next. As we make our way to Sphinx, though, let's pause on all fours for a couple of rounds of cat and cow. So bringing 2 hands to the floor, knees underneath the hips. Inhale to arch the spine. Exhale, to round like a cat. Inhale, arch. Looking up, exhale, round. And take a couple more on your own. Just moving through the whole length of the spine, feeling into it. Inhale, find neutral, and then bring yourself all the way down onto your belly. So Sphinx pose, we prop up on forearms. I like to begin by taking hands to opposite elbow to make sure those elbows are the right distance so they end up right under the shoulders, and then release the forearms so they become parallel. Lengthen into each leg. And your choice, whether you keep the legs really close together or separate them a few inches. I like to have mine closer together, but you choose for you, for your body. And then one more thing to decide from Sphinx pose. You can keep the head lifted or feel free to drop it down. This is a really nice stretch to the neck and the upper back. If at any time the low back gets pinchy or crampy and you can't seem to let that go, feel free to walk the elbows farther forward or even bring the whole upper body down. Okay? Remember, this is your practice.
I didn't get that.
Just allow yourself to really settle in here now. Just working our way through in our practice some of the tight spots, the places that we hold tension or holding. Stimulating the low back in this posture also kind of helps us release a little bit of that chi, that energy. Mm. And each breath, allowing the low back to soften even more. Decompressing the spine. Release and let go. Letting go so that we have space for renewal. Mm. So that we have space for what is yet to come. A little bit longer here, just a few more breaths. Soften into the legs, the glutes, the shoulders, the jaw. Release and let go. Inhale. Walk both arms forward. You can let the forehead rest or even turn to one side or the other. I like to separate the legs just a little bit wider here now. And just a little shimmy of the hips side to side. Release any that built up or still holding tension in the low back. We'll take broken wing next, which is a really lovely opener to the front of the shoulder. So from this belly down position, take your left arm and extend your left arm straight out to the side. In fact, you can even look to your left, ensure that it's in line with the shoulder. Palm is down flat. I'll take my right hand under the shoulder, under the right shoulder, as if I'm going to do a one-arm push-up, and then roll over to my left. So I'm essentially rolling over onto the left arm. Now, options with the lower leg, you might bring the right knee forward, keeping the left leg extended. You could bring both knees around, okay? I gotta jump out of the posture to get that timer set.
All right. So left arm is out. Maybe we have the knees drawn up. The right hand is out in front of my face, in front of the chest as a little bit of support. So of course, if you have any shoulder issues that prevent this posture, then you are more than welcome to come back onto your belly, stack the hands and just rest the forehead down. If you have a little more freedom in the front of this left shoulder, you could as well take the top knee, so in this case it's my right one, and lift it up. As we lift it up and press that right knee up toward the ceiling, essentially this is rolling me farther onto the left arm, increasing the intensity of the stretch. Just a quick reminder that in Yin, we try to release and soften the gripping so that we can access the deeper tissues in the body. So if you find yourself holding the shape and you're gripping or holding in your body, try backing out a little bit to see if you can find more softness, more release in the posture, and just allow time and gravity to draw you in. All right, let's inhale and release this side. Slowly bring the right hand in front of the face for support. If you've lifted the right knee, drop it down. Slowly make your way onto your belly. And then we'll extend the right arm out to the side. Left hand in front of the body for support. And then rolling yourself over so that the right arm is extended behind you. Right now, remember we have options with how far you roll over. You might just simply have the left knee up alongside the body. You might have both knees up. You might have this hand in front of the face. Ease your way in. The idea, again, is to be able to soften and release. This is nurturing time for us, turning inward time for us. Deeper option, again, if you care for it, you might try lifting the left knee up. Keeping in mind, this is your practice. If you lift the knee up and it brings the intensity too high, you drop it back down. Slowly start to release the twist. Making your way back onto your belly. The groaning I'm doing today, huh? In all fairness, I did sleep a little wrong last night, so I've got a little tweak in my back today. This is really helping it though.
Come on up. Our last two postures we'll take seated. We'll come to a seated butterfly. So make your way on up. Oh boy, I'm feeling so great though already. I hope you guys are enjoying this practice as well. So butterfly posture, soles of the feet together, knees drop open. We'll take a forward bend on this as well. But remember, this is your practice, not mine. So if being a little more upright is your jam today, do that. If you want to take the forward fold, some ways that you could use the blocks. You could take these blocks and bring them underneath the outer thighs or knees for support. You could use them here to support the forehead as you drop in. You could use them for the arms, the hands, anything you like. Make it as restorative or intense as you like, right? Let's lengthen the spine and drop yourself in. These next two postures are forward bends. So they really allow this opportunity for tuning in, right? Introspection. So we're holding these last two postures and softening in. You might bring to mind any intention that you wish to set for yourself for the coming year. Now, you might notice I didn't say a resolution. Usually we think of a New Year's resolution, but in my mind, the New Year's resolution comes from a place of thinking that we are not already good enough, that we have to do something to make ourselves better. Whereas an intention or a sankalpa comes from the mindset of, I am already whole and perfect as I am. Well, maybe you wish to cultivate more compassion, more peace, more patience, more flexibility. Just think about that over these next two postures. Maybe use the first part of our practice to open up the heart, open up the body, to twist and let go and release. Express gratitude for the challenges in the past year. Maybe even gratitude for the characteristics, the qualities within us that even challenging times allowed us to cultivate. And what are we going to do with that? What are we going to do next year? Let's slowly lose your arms. Use your arms to bring yourself upright. Let's take the legs, extend the legs out long now. We'll take caterpillar pose. If you have that rolled up blanket, this is really lovely to use in caterpillar. So caterpillar pose is two straight legs and we're going to fold over the top of them. So take the legs out long. I'll take the rolled up blanket, place that underneath the backs of the knees. Completely optional. You certainly don't have to have a rolled up blanket. You could also use your other props to support your body in any way you like, maybe to just simply rest the hands on. Maybe you like to have a little rest for the forehead. Feel free. Settle yourself in. Take a big inhale and exhale. settle yourself in. Finding a nice release, nice letting go in the whole back side of the body. So I've got my blocks stacked up to let the forehead rest. Don't need to do that. You could just let the head hang. You could support in some other way of your choosing. In the end, it's not about control or having control. It's all about letting go. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, soft sigh out. Take another deep breath in. This time, pause at the top of the inhale and exhale. Soft sigh out. Let go. Resting. We're softening into the shape, softening into the body, not striving, not pulling. So if you've got your hands on your feet or your shins and you're trying to pull yourself in deeper, can you soften and release? Turn the palms up. Resist the temptation to pull in deeper and just soften in deeper. One more deep breath here. Use the strength of your arms. Just roll yourself all the way up one vertebrae at a time. If you used any props, you'll set those off to the side. And slowly make your way down to Shavasana. Lying on your back. Mm. You can lie flat if you like, extending the legs, or maybe take constructive rest, widening the feet out, let the knees tent in. Turn the palms up. Allow your eyes to soften and close. Take a full, deep breath in. Exhale. Soft sigh out. Take another full breath in. Part the lips, soft sigh out. Just let the breath roll out. Let it go. And softly, gently close the lips. Just come to breathing gently in and out through the nose. Let it all go. Begin to lengthen and deepen your inhalations as you begin to call the energy back to the body. You might gently wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe take a sweet feeling stretch. Hopefully feeling refreshed and renewed after our practice today. Roll to one side or the other. Bring yourself up to sit, please. Sitting up tall. You can allow the hands to rest on the thighs or in the lap as you sit tall. Turn your gaze down and soften, or allow the eyes to soften and close. And then we'll join the hands in Anjali Mudra, palm against palm in front of the heart, bowing chin to your chest. Just pausing for one more moment of gratitude. Gratitude today to you for taking this time for you today, for allowing this turning in, this reflection, and hopefully allowing a little bit of space today to start preparing an intention for the coming year ahead or the days ahead. So gratitude to you. And as always, thank you so much for sharing your yoga practice today. Namaste.